Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicholas Cooley, and welcome to this very, very special event, Songs of Our Nation. This is something we've been planning for quite some time. This is usually when we do a concert. It's first or second weekend of November, and I saw that it's right next to Veterans Day. I said, you know what, we have to do a show. This is the first time we've actually done a show honoring veterans. And so on this program you see all kinds of compositions, John Williams, Aaron Copeland, Samuel Barber, Kevin Putz, all music that honors our country and those who have fought to defend our country. In particular is Aaron Copeland's Lincoln Portrait. This was a piece that was composed, premiered in 1942, and unique to this piece is the way Aaron Copeland interweaves words that were spoken by our former President Abraham Lincoln into a dramatic, symphonic kind of piece. And tonight we welcome our narrator who will be joining us in the performance of this piece, Mr. Marlon Browne. Thank you for joining us, Marlon. Ron Birmingham, our managing director, reached out to you, knowing you from the arts world. What was your reaction when Ron asked you to do this?
Well, the last time I did it was about 6.5 years ago. I only remember that because I had a kid brand new about the time that I had to do that last time. And I was honored because the last time I did it, it was very impactful for me because I'm an immigrant, but I came here and I established for myself quite a respect for America as it was, as a country. And so in my mind, the piece itself lent itself to such a great patriotic mindset, and I think it's been so lost on a lot today. And I think his words, hopefully people will hear it and be reminded of what we are supposed to be about as a country.
And you're no stranger to the stage. You are an actor, you're a musician. You just told me that you did how many shows here at the PAC over the years?
About 12 of them.
12 shows, 12 musicals.
Yeah.
So you are not afraid of the stage. This is different. You know, you're not an orchestral concerto soloist.
Right.
You're a narrator. How's the approach different to something like this versus the stage work you've already done?
You don't have anything to embody necessarily. You can't herald back on any sort of a historical character or even a stage character for the part. If you don't have a true, right here,
yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
If you don't have a true identity in America as a country from its origin, the piece itself won't mean anything to you and you won't really portray it as such. It becomes more of a rote thing, mindless drivel really coming out your mouth because you don't believe it. But when you really listen to what the words are saying, you can't help but one, either get choked up or become a superhero for yourself just standing there listening to it.
Exactly. The music was composed 80 years ago. He's using text and words spoken by Lincoln from 160 years ago. But it seems like this music and the words are as powerful and resonate with us today. What text from this seems to rise up to you whenever you perform this?
He said that the occasion is piled high with uncertainty, and as our occasion is new, so we must think anew and act anew. I think for him at that time, when you look back at it, if we don't really put ourselves in his position, it was literally brand new. We have the benefit of hundreds of years now, looking back at America's both faults and benefits. But for Lincoln, it was literally the first time that this type of nation had been formed. And for him to lead the country the way he did in the midst of the kinds of things that were going on, because it's a brand new thing, you have to start thinking in your mind that this is a brave human being. So his words are timeless, and it's more important now than ever before, I think.
And the composer also wrote, I don't know if you've seen this, this is a note for the speaker. Copeland says, "The speaker is cautioned against undue emphasis in the delivery of Lincoln's words. Mm-hmm. The words are sufficiently dramatic in themselves. They need no added, quote-unquote, emotion in order to put them across to an audience. They are meant to be read simply and directly, without a trace of exaggerated sentiment. It is the composer's wish that the speaker depend for his effect not on his acting ability, but on his complete sincerity of manner." Mm-hmm. How Lincoln spoke these words, we can never really know, but certainly we can all sense how not to read them.
Yes.
And, you know, today is about exaggeration.
Yeah.
It's about
overdoing
it. And here, Copeland has specifically asked the speaker to not do that.
Many of us are parents, right? And sometimes the most impactful thing you can tell your kid is not in an exaggerated tone, but a very direct, listen to the words only kind of mannerism. When you do hear this piece, you'll understand what the author meant. The words themselves that Lincoln chose to use, because he was a brilliant man in respects of what he meant to say, he said. He didn't waste a whole lot of words from my research about him. And so he's right that you don't have to add any inflection where it's not needed. The words themselves kind of draw it out of you. You don't have to add it, because by what he uses to say what he wants to say, it's an automatic reaction of your body and mind that it comes forth.
Yeah, and the power of oration, you know, is underscored here by music that also is not overly demonstrative. Mm-hmm. You know, under your text, it has this kind of quiet but steadfast quality to it, with gentle dotted rhythms. Not more than that, you know. I think that's just such an powerful part of this piece. And we've done it now, rehearsed 3 times already, and every time we finish, I'm impacted by it in a very, very strong way.
The air feels almost touched when it's done. For having been in theater, you expect that adulation to be the thing that finishes your piece off. You don't need the adulation for that piece. I think many of you will be left in this kind of middle ground of should I clap even, because of how intense it is and what he's saying. I think if you are of the mind that America is in much need of remembering itself, when you hear these words, I think for many of us, we'll be left in reflection as opposed to celebration. But we'll be celebrating, but it's more of a reflection of, man, we really need to get back to our roots of how to fight through problems instead of fighting each other for problems, you know what I'm saying? So in my world, this has been like a refreshing event for me.
Amen, Marlon. Thank you for joining us for this pre-concert chat. Looking forward to this performance with you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Lincoln Portrait was premiered in 1942, commissioned for the New York Philharmonic. It is one of the only pieces of music for the stage written using words spoken by a former president and setting it to music. The words are not sung, rather that they are delivered by a speaker. And as Copeland instructs in the score, the speaker is, quote, cautioned against undue emphasis in the delivery of Lincoln's words. The words are sufficiently dramatic in themselves.
Fellow citizens, we cannot escape history. That is what he said. That is what Abraham Lincoln said. Fellow citizens, we cannot escape history. We of this Congress and this administration will be remembered in spite of ourselves. No personal significance or insignificance can spare one or another of us. The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down in honor or dishonor to the latest generation. We, even we here, hold the power and bear the responsibility. He was born in Kentucky, raised in Indiana, and lived in Illinois. And this is what he said. This is what Abe Lincoln said. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. We must disenthrall ourselves, and then we shall save our country. When standing erect, he was 6 foot 4 inches tall, and this is what he said. He said, "It is the eternal struggle between two principles, right and wrong, throughout the world. It is the same spirit that says, 'You toil and work and earn bread, and I'll eat it,' no matter in what shape it comes, whether from the mouth of a king who seeks to bestride the people of his own nation and live by the fruit of their labor, or from one race of men as an apology for enslaving another race. It is the same tyrannical principle." Lincoln was a quiet man. Abe Lincoln was a quiet and melancholy man. But when he spoke of democracy, this is what he said. He said, "As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master." This expresses my idea of democracy. Whatever differs to this, to the extent of the difference, is no democracy. Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of these United States, is everlasting in the memory of his countrymen. For on the battleground at Gettysburg, this is what he said. He said, From these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, and that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.